Strangest communities in the world. In every community, you will expect to see men, women, and children. Men and women should be almost the same proportion, children being more than adults, and older people should be fewer than young ones. But not all communities follow this trend. You may be surprised when you hear some facts about certain cities. Here are some communities that will surprise you. 5. A city where women are willing to share men. Not many women will agree to share men, but in the norm in this city, men have as many girlfriends as they wish, and their women agree to the arrangement. It is even embarrassing for a man to have only one girlfriend. What led to that? Globally, there are 101 men to every 100 women. But in Dongguan, in the Guangdong province of China, the ratio is different. There are far more women than men. Dongguan is a city that is popular for numerous manufacturing companies, but these company owners prefer to employ females to employing males. Their reasons: trust and loyalty. Many women are more trustworthy than men. We don't know. We don't want to talk about that. But the outcome is that several women migrated to this city while men left in search of jobs where they trust men. So, we have a city with many ladies and a few gentlemen. And the only way relationships can go around is if the men agree to date more than one woman. The ladies gladly accept the arrangement, and it looks like a normal thing in the city. Men keep many women, and the women are aware and are satisfied. Many of the ladies believe that it is better that way than being lonely. Ladies, what do you think? Nueva do Cordero, women-only community. If you think that a community where women far outnumbered men is strange, what will you say about a community where only women live? Nueva do Cordero in Brazil is a community of about 600 people. All of them are women. It started around 1891. Then Maria Senhorina de Lima was forced to marry a man she did not love. When she decided to leave the man, the Catholic Church accused her of adultery and excommunicated her and her next 5 generations. That's wonderful. So, she left with her family to form this community. Other women who also shared her opinion later joined her, forming a community of women alone. Since then, the community has been increasing in number and the principles in which it was founded remains. Today, about 600 ladies live in this small town, all of them between the ages of 20 and 35. Most of them are single, but some are married, and some have kids that are males. For those that are married, their husbands are not allowed to live with them. They are only allowed to visit their wives on weekends. Also, their children that are females are allowed to live with them for as long as they wish. But their male children are sent away as soon as they clock 18. You may wonder how ladies-only lives would be, but the ladies living in Nueva de Cordero believe that it is better than if men were allowed to be involved. The residents claim they do things in unity and solve their problems in women's ways. They share everything, including the land they worked on. They spend time together to gossip, to do their hairdressing, pedicure, and manicure. Now, they are planning to relax the rules and allow men to live with them if such men are ready to live by the rules. Guys, would you be willing to live in a women community? Three, Umoja, another women-only town. But if men in Nueva de Cordero are ready to relax the rules, women in Umoja Uaso in Kenya are not ready. This is another community where only women are allowed to live. The story started in 1990 in Samburu country in Kenya. Their women were seen as being subordinate to men and are regarded as men's properties. All these the women had accepted. But when some soldiers raped some of the women, they had to cry out. Instead of getting justice, these women were abandoned, even by their husbands, who claimed their wives had been defiled, hence were worthless. Out of desperation, the women left their community, bought some pieces of land, and formed the community known today as Umoja. At the beginning of their adventure, they met several oppositions, especially men who opposed the idea. But the community remains till today. 15 women started this community some 30 years ago. Today, it has about 250 residents, 200 of them being children. Umoja is open to rape victims, girls who are running away from child marriage, or women that are victims of domestic violence. After making several unsuccessful attempts at different businesses, today, the women make jewelry and sell as their source of income. They also run a primary school for their children and a cultural center and a tourist camp. Rebecca Lulosoli, who was among the founders of the community, is their leader, and they have the support and protection of Kenya's government. 2. Jinwar, Syria, yet another female community. Inspired by the story of Umoja in Kenya, the women in Syria also took a similar step. But the Syrian experience was more terrible than what happened in Kenya. Syria was in the middle of a war, and in war, everything is allowed. One of the major impacts of civil war in Syria was violence against women. Many women were abused and raped by soldiers, and some even by civilians who took advantage of the war to perpetrate evil. Happened in Umoja in Kenya, where some 15 women started a women-only community. The Syrians also believed they could do a similar thing. On November 25, 2016, some women gathered and officially started a community called Jinwar in northern Syria. The building of houses didn't start until 2017, and by November 25, 2018, the community was ready and was inaugurated. The major aim of the community was to provide safety for women and children. Jinwar consists of women who had lost their husbands in the civil war or those who chose not to marry. They all have only one thing in common: they did not accept males' dominance over females. They have a primary school for their children. After primary school, they allow their children to further their education outside the community. Every family has her plot of land where they grow their crops. Hence, they produce their food. They do not have a central government or leaders. Rather, the women take turns to coordinate the community affairs every month. This community started only in 2018, so their kids have not reached adulthood. But they plan to allow their boys to remain in the community even after reaching adulthood. But for now, no man is allowed to sleep overnight in this community. Don't you think it's strange? Now, let's leave women and talk about another group of people. 1. The Villages, an old people's town. You may be familiar with older people's homes, but not many of us are familiar with older people's city. The Villages in Florida in the United States is the world's largest retirement community. The census in 2016 showed that 123,966 people are living in this community. Today, they are more than 150,000, and it is regarded as the fastest-growing town in the United States. This community in Sumter County, Florida, has over 150,000 residents and is among the fastest-growing towns even in the world. In 2014, it was ranked as the fastest-growing city in the United States by the U.S. Census for the second consecutive year. Between 2010 and 2017, it was the fastest-growing metropolitan area in the U.S. with a growth rate of 33%. The villages are growing in terms of population, but it also has many distinguished people living in there. It is the town that has the largest number of war veterans without having any military base. And in terms of business and economy, Forbes ranked the community number 53 among the best small places for business and careers in 2017. But with all these features, this community is full of older people. 2016 census showed that less than 2% of this great town's population is below the age of 5 years. But that is surprising, huh? Maybe, maybe not. But in every community, youths are usually the majority. But in this community, only 7% of the population is between the age of 0 and 18 years. A whopping 56% of the population of the community is above the age 65 years, and the majority of the rest are between 55 and 65. It is amazing how this community of older people keeps increasing every year. That's it. Thanks for watching our video. Please like and subscribe for many more in the future.